Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV. Tonight on this Wednesday evening, the Dirty Old Bastards bring you the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum 305 Sprint Car Series. Tonight we travel to the Limaland Motorsports Park. Good evening, race fans. Brett Wheeler joined alongside the Doctor, Jerry Vansicle here. For the first time on Ultimate Dirt TV. Jerry, welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV and welcome to the virtual Limaland Motorsports Park.
I'm excited. This place looks like it's going to put on a wingding of a show here for us tonight. Qualifying up underway, and big thanks to our friends at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. I'm actually, just so you know, Brett, about 40 minutes away from that place. I don't get there enough, though. I need to get down there. They put some new exhibits in down there, so great to have Bob Baker and the gang helping us out tonight here at Limaland Virtual Speedway with tonight's DOB racing.
Yeah, the Dirty Old Bastards qualifying is done and dusted. Cameron Merriman, the driver to beat here tonight. He goes quick time with a 12.231. The first of 4 heat races on the program for tonight. Let's go trackside. Take a look right now at your Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid for the first of 10 laps in heat race number 1. In fact, it's going to be Cameron Merriman going to start on pole. Kyle Stoltz will start position number 2. Position 3 going to be John Klimowicz Jr. Joshua Indick will line up at a position number 4. Position number 5, it's going to be Randy Shreves and John Bragman will start position 6. Wally Reardon starts position 7. Aaron Schaefer lines up at a position number 8. Jeff Flair at a position 9. Dante Brown at a position 10. And Scott Page will line up at a position number 11. Jerry, the first time you're seeing 305 Sprint Cars and the first time you're seeing the virtual Limaland Motorsports Park right here on Ultimate Dirt TV and the iRacing.com service as well.
I'm excited about it. Just because they're 305s don't mean they're going to put on a show. We ran those, run them weekly out here in the Midwest, and some of those, the race savers and the 305s, they'll put on a good show. You put them on a tight little bull ring like Limaland tonight, and I guarantee you it's going to be pretty quick. I'm excited. I think we're going to see some White Castles, some O-Doctors, some, I don't know, couple upside down here. I don't know. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That O-Doctor thing that you did the other day on Street Stocks at USA, I've got that recorded and I've already sent it to about 48,000 different people, I reckon, and said, this is what I got to work with the other night. Hey, a couple of quick things. Tim Sims Dirt Track Simulators giving out a couple of fan packs tonight. What you've got to do, you've got to type in Limaland in the Ultimate Dirt TV chat, and you get a chance to win a free fan pack courtesy of Tim Sims Dirt Track Simulators. We'll have a second fan pack as well. We'll have that just before the feature event or just before the dash. But we get set for heat race number 1 here at the Limaland Motorsports Park, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum 305 Sprint Car action. Heat race number 1, Cameron Merriman about to go green, and Kyle Starr's going to get a good jump on the outside. He runs the cushion through turn number 1 and 2. Merriman right through the middle, 2 by 2 all throughout this field. Merriman going to slide up to take the line away from Stoltz. Stoltz gets into the back of him. Now here comes John Klimowicz Jr. looking up on the inside. He gets into 3rd right now. Joshua Indick, he moves into 2nd.
They'll work him down the back straightaway. Stoltz there on the move. It is Merriman, your race leader. Indick working the number 2 spot. Everybody high, wide, and handsome right up there against the Creed on this lightning fast bull ring here at Limaland. They'll work down into turn number 1 and 2. Everybody staying about the same distance. It's still Merriman, Indick, Schatz, and Klimowicz. Remember, out of these, the top 4 going to the feature. And, of course, we'll see our dash later on as top 2 will redraw as we go to the caution yellow on a racetrack.
Our first yellow of the night here at the Limaland Motorsports Park. I believe it might have been the 77 car of Aaron Schaefer. There he is, missing the front wing on that race car. Not a good way to start for Aaron Schaefer, but we've seen a couple of caution laps. In fact, we didn't see caution laps at USA. That would have taken about 55 to 60 seconds, Jerry. These ones here, they're only about 35 seconds long, so as quick as you like, we're going to go back to green next time by.
So we'll see the one to go signal out of the starter stand. Cameron Merriman up front, your race leader. Like we said, 4 heat races, top 4 transferred, top 4 transferred, top 2 going into tonight's fast dash as we get ready to watch for the green flag. iRacing Chevrolet Silverado Pace Truck still on the racetrack as the top line the quick line around here right now, as we'll see it. They work around. Pace truck drops to the infield, looking to come back to the green flag. Off of 4, greens up, Merriman will throttle it on down into turn number 1. Everybody goes back to the top side. Schultz down there, look out there in the creed. That's going to let Schultz make his way into a dash position qualifier as they work on down. Now watch this, the 34 of Klimowicz coming to the inside as they work down into turn number 1 and 2. Yellow's out.
Yeah, and well, we're not going to end this one under caution neither, Jerry. We're going to add a green-white checker situation, so these drivers are still going to get an opportunity at a green-white checker to find out which 2 drivers will make their appearance in tonight's dash. Top 2 to the dash, top 4 to the main event. The dash will come after the B main during the warm-up session. But just while we're under yellow, Jerry, your quick thoughts on this racetrack and these 305 sprint cars?
The top line dominant right now. Hopefully that we'll see that top line become not so dominant as everybody goes looking down to the bottom side. But you want to keep the momentum up on this little high-banked racetrack, and it's pretty cool. I mean, they're clicking around here pretty fast. Some quick laps here. Like, what are we doing? 11-second laps in on a sprint car in a 305 program. That's pretty booking right around now.
Yeah, it's certainly showing the way. That top side will eventually fade away. We'll certainly see that bottom side. And some drivers, no doubt, will attempt to run the middle part of the racetrack to make this whole quarter-mile racetrack wide as possible. And I'll make those 305 sprint cars as wide as possible as well to stay up near the front. Green-white checker coming out. Pace truck going to move to the infield right now. Cameron Merriman and Kyle Stoltz, the top 2 drivers. Joshua Indyk, 3rd. Randy Shrees in 4th. Green flag is out. A green-white checker. Merriman getting a good jump on the field, and he will lead down the back straightaway for the penultimate time. Stoltz looking through the middle of the racetrack now into turn number 3 and 4. Not going to have anywhere near enough of momentum to get by Cameron Merriman, but here comes Joshua Indyk here on the final lap. Can he get a transfer into the main event? He goes to the inside. Cameron Merriman out of turn number 4 is going to be victorious. 2nd spot going to go to Kyle Stoltz. He'll hang on to 2nd. 3rd is Joshua Indyk, and then Randy Shrees back there in 4th. Bragman, Reardon, Paig, Klimowicz Jr., Brown, and Schaefer. And then you go back to Jeff Flero in position number 11. Heat number 1 is complete, Jerry.
That'll wrap it up. Like we said, 4 to the A, 2 to the dash. Everybody doing a great job there in heat race number 1. Like I said, 4 heat races tonight. Good little program set up here on the docket for you tonight.
Certainly is heat race number 2. Let's take a look right now. It's your ultimate dirt to be starting grid for another 10 laps on the board. Troy Wagman will start on pole position. On his outside, it'll be Justin Stolz out of position number 2. Inside your second row, Jason Shanebacker. In car number 09 will start position number 3. Jeremy Isabel will start position number 4. Position number 5 is going to be Kevin Hanley. David Flick will line up at a position number 6. Tyler Grafton will start position 7. Hunter Parsons at a position number 8. Brandon Igo will start position number 9. Mike Henninger will start position 10. And Andrew Olson will make up the 11-car field here in heat race number 2, Jerry.
All right, we're set to go. Hunter Parsons, a late entry, the modified racer from Wisconsin. He said, "Hey, are you doing anything tonight?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna announce those sprint car race." And he says, "Okay, I'll be on and race." And we'll see what he can do. We saw him in a street stock down at USA on Monday night. So we'll see what he's got for store here in the 305 heat race number 2 as we get ready to go to the green flag here just momentarily.
Troy Ragman as well. He's a sprint car racer out at the Williams Grove Speedway. Runs out there in PA, the number 19 machine. So we'll keep an eye on him. He is your race leader down the back straight away. Shane back there into position number 2. He's got all sorts of pressure right now. Justin Stolz at 23. 3 wide down into turn number 1 and 2. Stolz looking to the outside. He's going to get shuffled back to position 4. Contact with the right rear. And then Ido Shane Backler down into turns 3 and 4.
They'll hustle down the front straight away. Look at this great battle. It is on like Donkey Kong for the transfer spot. Watch it. Remember the top 4, the ones that moving on into tonight's A main. Hanley's got it. Look at the gaggle of them stacked up 3 deep and selling cheap down the front straight away. This one's going to move off quick, so if you want to go to the A, you got to be the top 4 dashes. Top 2, what a battle. Back here for second on back.
How good is this? 305 sprint car racing. Shane Backler moves into second. Hanley will now move into position number 3. David Flick momentarily moves into position 4 as they went 3 wide on the exit of turn 4. Isabel up on the inside. Yellow flag is out just as we come to the halfway stage. Jerry, these 305s are not afraid to go 2 and 3 wide here at Limaland.
No, they aren't. Tony Wagman had himself a huge lead, 2.3 tenths of a second lead to be exact, and he gives that up with the caution flag waving here at Limaland. Schoenbachler working the number 2 spot. Hanley and Isbell working your top 4. Dave Flick, 1 out of a transfer. Of course, if he doesn't make it in, he'll have a good starting spot in tonight's B main. Of course, we'll have a C main, top 4 coming out of the C main, and the B main, we'll have top 4 coming out of that. Scheduled to be into tonight's program for our transfer cars as they work around race control, getting everybody back into that single file racing style so we can go as the pace truck leads them on around.
Yes, we're going to go green flag action this time by lights out as Troy Wagaman Jr., your race leader here in heat race number 2. It is going to be a green-white checker, not an extended green-white checker. But nonetheless, still 2 laps left to run. Heat race number 2. He's going to stamp the throttle as we are green once again. It's going to be on for that second spot to get into the dash. And don't forget, top 4 goes straight through to the main event. Isabel up on the inside of Hanley. They race side by side into 3 and 4. 1 to go, Jerry.
White Castle's being served on up. They'll cross it back on over. Watch that back there, Haley and Isabel. That's your battle for the number 3 spot. Look out, we got them crossed up front. Big trouble down the front straight away. As it's Wagman, Schoenbacher, Hanley, and Isabel. They'll work him on down. Final lap coming at you.
Check and flag out. Wagaman, Isabel, top 2. Flick and Igo going to go through. Shane Backler back there in position 5. Boy, oh boy, that got all sorts of busy, Jerry, in the final lap. They were literally throwing haymakers at each other. You'd think that we might have to get a referee out here because that was almost a UFC style.
I was waiting for somebody to roll over. I was looking for a good old rollover on that, but everybody able to keep them wing side up and pan side down as they heat 2, heat 3 getting ready to come at us, and I would imagine it's probably going to be about this same kind of action.
Yes, that indeed we do. We will see some great heat racing action. Heat race number 3. We take a look at your ultimate dirt TV starting grid. Chase Swafford and Ryan Smith on the front row. Trey Long and Brandon Kirsten are in row number 2. Row number 3 going to be Jeffrey Stewart and Jason Nygaard. Row 4, John Klimowicz and Curtis Merriman. Row 5 going to be Kenny Wentz, Justin Williams with Matthew Seymour to make up our third 11-car field. 33 cars we've seen take to the racetrack, Jerry. And don't forget, after this one, we've still got one more heat, which is going to contest of about another 10 or 11 cars. So mid-40s in the car count tonight, and a great field here for the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum 305 Sprint Car Series.
Yes, great to have them. Good showing for a Wednesday night. Pace truck rolls to the infield. Sawfield and Smith going to be looking to bring him to the green flag. It comes up, it comes out, and we will rocket shift these hot rods down into turn number 1 and 2. Sawford going to take that race lead, but look at that, the 75 out front. Ryan Smith running second. Now you see it like we talked. The bottom lane going to start to come in as they work off the bottom and down the front straight away. It'll be Ryan Smith. Trey Long now. Trey Long to the number 2 spot. Smith the 3rd. Nygaard, Jason Nygaard back there in the number 4 spot. That final transfer, we go to the caution. Yellow caution flag being waved on the speedway.
Yeah, one car upside down. That happens to be the 72 of Jeffrey Stewart. Well, we will show the fans right now your Wicked Cushion instant replay of the incident occurring in turns number 1 and 2. And again, these drivers fighting for every bit of this racetrack already and trying to get themselves into the top 4. It was Stewart who just got a little out of shape there in front of the 3 car of Curtis Merriman and then got tagged from the rear by, I believe, the 19 of Kenny Wentz. So not a happy way to start off the night for Jeffrey Stewart. He's going to be put towards the back of the C main. And Jerry, he's still got a lot of work to do if he's going to want to make a showing in tonight's 50-lap main event.
Well, anything can be done. You can come from the back of the C, go into the B. I've seen it done. Seen it done in person. 1985, Knoxville Raceway, Knoxville Nationals. Doug Wolfgang run the alphabet soup. Just to date myself, that was my first Knoxville Nationals. And I was just a little guy back then.
All right, don't forget, type in Limaland into the Facebook or YouTube chat for your chance to win a free fan pack courtesy of Tim Sims Dirt Track Simulators. 5 down, 5 to run. Chase Swafford going to lead. Oh, no, look out. Trouble into turn number 1 and 2. And they keep it going. Look at this Valvoline car straight up on the inside right now. The 03 machine of Matthew Seymour. He's going to move into position number 6, and still he's a couple of spots out of a transfer position.
They were stacked up off the concrete back there the last lap around. Now you see it. It is Justin Williams as the odd 10 working that 4th and final transfer spot. He's got company. Here comes the 69 back there deep in the field, running in the number 4 spot. On that transfer, watch this battle off of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway. One upside down over there in turn number 3 and 4. We'll see if we can get her on all 4. Keep her moving. Sawford, your leader. Caution coming out of the racetrack.
Yeah, Seymour the 03 just trying to get that car going again, but the leaders had already caught him, and that will trigger the caution flag here in heat race number 3, our second caution. So just a couple of cautions so far, and we've seen what was the opening heat, and now heat race number 3. It looks like the odd heats right now are certainly not the heat races you want to be in, Jerry, with a couple of cautions in each of them at the moment.
So yes, like you said, every heat race seems to come down to a late race caution, back to a green-white checkered finish. So we'll watch this heat race number 3, trying to put it in the books as caution coming out late. I guess if history repeats itself, it repeats itself pretty quickly.
That indeed it does. Lights to go out on the iRacing.com pace truck drivers making their way on the front straightaway right now. The driver's being told 1 to green. Let's get these final couple of laps in here at the Limaland Motorsports Park. The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum 305 Sprint Cars presented by Tim Sims Dirt Track Simulators and Dirty Old Bus. Again, type in Limaland in the chat if you want a chance at a free fan pack from Tim Sims Dirt Track Simulators. Green flag is out. A green-white checker, Chase Swafford, already going to put a couple of car lengths between himself and Trey Long, but Trey Long going to work the outside through 1 and 2, and he's going to really hustle along down into turn number 3 and 4. The battle is going to be on for the race lead. The battle is on for the transfer spot as well. 1 lap left to go, Jerry.
Trey Long trying to pedal that machine around there. Follows the tire tracks. He'll come to the bottom, slides it up to the top, to the tires, to the creed. He'll get the crossover move back. It'll be Chase Swafford picking up the win. Trey Long, John Klimek, and Justin Williams. And, well, you saw it. Trey Long pulled the kitchen sink off the wall, threw it at him. But, well, nothing to be had as they come to the checkered.
Nope, that is our third heat race done, which means we are left with 1 more heat race left on the program, and let's take a look at your Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid for heat race number 4. And starting on pole, they call him the Catfish. Chris Roberts will start on pole. Alongside him in position 2, it's going to be Joe Isabel. Richie Preston and the Buckshot Billy Brickley will line up in row 2. Row 3 are going to be Jonathan Lowe and Kenneth Payne. Anthony Marvuglio and Tyler Henselman will make up row 4. And your 5th and final row, it's going to be Kyle Jenkins and Austin Stern to make up a 10-car field. And after this one, Jerry, the track is going to be reset. We're going to have track work, track maintenance going to be reset to about 13 or 15%. So it's going to make this track a whole lot tackier and a little bit harder to pass right now.
So we're going to see a quick farming session is what you're telling me.
Pretty much. After this 10-lap heat race, though. So just as we get into the C-Main, so those C-Main drivers, especially the ones that are going to have to come from the back of the bus, they're going to have their work cut out for them.
We'll see what happens in this one. Final 10-lap heat race. Chris Roberts, Joe Isabel, they're in the 93 and the 6 up on the front row. iRacing pace truck drops to the infield. Starters got the green flag in hand. We're looking for it. They come to the cone. Your final 10 laps of heat race action is underway. Roberts will take the lead as they work him off at 2. Look at this, 3 wide down the back straightaway. They'll go back into the tire tracks. Got him on the bottom, got him on the top, working it down to lap number 1. Roberts, Isabel, Preston. Now you see Bill Brickley getting into the number 3 spot as top 4 transfer.
Yeah, Brickley putting a slider there on Isabel, and Isabel going to return the favour down into 3 and 4, and good crossover, and Isabel gets into the wall. Now Preston coming after Isabel. But tell you what, keep an eye on Billy Brickley. He is good and quick in a 305 sprint car as he works the top side of the racetrack into turn number 3 and 4. Coming up the race leader, the Catfish Chris Roberts through the middle of 1 and 2. Brickley upstairs, and then you go back to Isabel and Preston. They continue to fight it out, and Jonathan Lowe now making it a 3-car battle for the final transfer spot.
Back there, the 4th spot is up for grabs, and it's anybody's race right now as Preston's got it. Jonathan Lowe looking, caution, waving on the racetrack. Caution coming to the racetrack. Pace truck going to make its way back out and slow the field on down.
Oh boy, it's getting tight. It's getting intense, not only because Billy Brickley is coming after Chris Roberts for the race lead, this restart. I don't know who that's going to favour more, whether it's going to favour Chris Roberts or whether it's going to favour Billy Brickley, because Brickley, he's got some serious speed in that double O machine. And one thing to note, just like we've seen a couple of nights ago, I'm not sure if we spoke about it, but fixed setups. I believe that all drivers are going to be on the same setup in this series. So it comes back down to drivability and driver talents right now.
Yeah, I see that up there. It says setup identical. So guys race it kind of like an IROC race. You know, everything's set up the same, and it's just grab the feel of the seat and see what you can do with it as everybody's on the same wing tilt, tires, shock springs. The only thing different they got's the shorts they're sitting in. So we'll see what happens to them as they get ready to go back to the green flag. Pace truck looks like to be staying out one more time, Brett. Is this 4th and final heat race. Looking for him to come off of turn number 4. Pace truck drops to the infield. Chris Roberts, Billy Brickley, your 1 and 2 racers. They're going to the dash if this thing was over, but it's far from it as we'll work him down there 3 wide. Now look at this little run to the tail tank back there for the number 4 spot at Preston. They'll work down to the bottom side of the racetrack as they hustle on in. Roberts right there as they thunder down the front straightaway. It is still that battle back there for the race lead now as Roberts has got it. Berkeley looking to come at him now. Here comes the stab. Oh, he caught the infield tire. Billy Berkeley, they stack him up big time in turn 4.
Big wreck out of turn 4. Multiple cars upside down. Roberts and Isabel both going to the dash. Tyler Henson and Anthony Marvuglia, I think those drivers were 7th and 8th, coming to the restart. Just a couple of laps to go. And those 4 drivers going to transfer to the main event. Jonathan Lowe, Richie Preston, Billy Brickley, Kyle Jenkins. Those drivers going to make their way into the Alphabet Soup. And the first of 2 soups on the program tonight. It's going to get hot in the kitchen right now. Let's take a look at your Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid for tonight's 14-lap C-Main, where the top 4 are going to transfer to the back of the B. Scott Page and Hunter Parsons will make up row number 1. Curtis Merriman and Kyle Jenkins in row 2. Row 3, Dante Brown, Justin Stolz. Then you go back to Matthew Seymour, Kenneth Payne in row 4. Row 5 is Aaron Schaefer, Kevin Hanley. Row 6, Jeffrey Stewart and Austin Stern. Jeff Flaro, Mike Henninger in row 7. And Kenny Wintz to make up a 15-car field. Boy, oh boy, that was a wild 2 laps. The 3rd green-white checker that we had out of the heat races too.
Yes. Here's what I do, and I talk about it when I'm announcing outdoors, and I talk about it, and sometimes common sense doesn't always reveal, Brett, but you're in a transfer spot. You're in the dash. But then you throw it too deep, grab a tire and take out about 4 cars. I've never quite understood that. You're in there. Just take that spot. All you got to do is take the checkered.
Well,
crazy.
Yeah,
I know the competitive edge of it, but sometimes the common sense on my side says you're in the show, but just leave her right there.
Well, think about it this way, right? Okay, so again, as you said,
first of all, you've asked me to do something that I usually don't, and that's think.
All right, well, I'll throw this statement out there. As you said, you're in a transfer spot. Why not just get into it and then worry about it? Because they all want to start up front. They all want that competitive edge over the other drivers. And as you said, common sense, it should prevail. But at the end of the day, they all want to just go out there and win. They all want to put on a show for the fans. And, well, they put on a show by tearing up some virtual race cars.
Well, that's okay. I mean, if you can't be in the show, be the show. Scott Powell and the whole C-Main special. Hunter Parsons up there on row number 1, looking for the green flag. It is out in the starter stand, and we were going to race here 14 laps. Look, God, hang on. We got them stacked up, jacked up, and cracked up. Hunter Parsons losing the handle in the 00 car. And that insult to injury runs into the light pole on the infield side of the racetrack. When did sprint cars get reversed, Brett?
Just iRacing things.
Oh, that's crazy.
All right, we'll take a look.
Parsons.
Just taking a look at our Wicked Cushion instant replay right now. There was just a bit of contact there with Scott Pagan, the 18 machine, and right rear meets left rear. Unfortunately for Hunter Parsons, he's going to be ending up at the tail end of the field right now, and he's going to be in 13th spot, and I believe, in fact, he's going to be back on pit road. So Hunter Parsons, he is done for the night already. He will take no further part in this C-Main.
Yeah, no C-Main special there for the old Wisconsin racer as he sits on the infield, and we wait for things to get ready to go back to the green flag.
Right, there'll be green flag action this time by, I believe. The pace truck should make its way to the infield, and Curtis Merriman, brother to Cameron Merriman, who absolutely dominated this series last season. Green flag is out, 4 down, 10 to run here in tonight's C-Main. Merriman, Dante Brown in second. Justin Stoles, Kenneth Payne, the top four as they make their way through turn number 3 and 4. Stoles looking to the outside. He's missing that front wing. How will it affect that car? So far, it's not really affecting it at all. He's getting a run on the top side. Kenneth Payne looking on the inside. That NOS Energy number 2 machine holding on to position 3.
If he can just hang on to that thing, that front nose wing, of course, it's there. You need it, but you see it. Is without it, you can't keep that front end down to the racetrack, and they'll come 3 wide down the front straightaway. Look out as they try to crash down into turn number 1 and 2. Stoles back there. Payne now running in the number 3 spot. Dante Brown and Merriman is Gio Winnie gone on this one. Merriman out front, but let's watch this battle for the transfer spot. It is now Kenny Payne. Kenneth Payne on in there. Now Stoltz back on in there. Schaefer there to the number 3 spot.
Yeah, Schaefer picked up 3 positions when Payne... Stoles, and I believe it might have been Hanley, made contact on the front straightaway, and he picked up 3 for 1. Oh no, car round on the back straightaway. Tell me that's not... Oh, it's Dante Brown, the number 19 machine, the 19J, or the 24 as you might say, Jerry, but Dante Brown was second, and now he is going to be at the back of the bus, and again, a transfer spot driver. Well, I think he steps on it.
I happened to go back to watch that battle back there for 4th on back, and all of a sudden it's like, I don't think that car is going the correct way. But then I also wondered, how does it happen in the middle of the back straightaway? That's the thing. As I kind of put it, that's things got a little steppy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Speedway. It's a funny. I'm not going to say game because we're not. Well, we are playing a game, but most people call it a simulation. But again, depending on who you ask, at the end of the day, it is just a. I guess we call it a stepping stone. A racing tool that keeps these drivers, their reactions and stuff like that, all sharp.
It's keeping my reaction sharp on this little place. It's quick. Lap gets away from you. Speaking of getting away, we're going to get away from that yellow flag and go back to the green flag. Is it going to be Merriman, your race leader? Schaefer running the number 2 spot. Stoltz and Kenny Payne. Watch him on down into turn number 3 and 4. Top 2 cars breaking away. Top 4 go to the A. Remember, it's going to be that battle on for the bump spot back there for the number 4 spot. Merriman still on out front. Hanley in the 5th spot. 1 out looking in. They'll drive on down to the bottom. Still Merriman, Schaefer, Stoles, and Payne in it, but watch the battle for 4th. It's starting to heat up. Checkered out. Like I told you, that thing gets away from me. It goes quicker than the guy thinks. So taking a look at your finishing order, your top 4 cars moving on. Curtis Merriman, Aaron Schaefer, Justin Stoles, and Kenneth Payne. Your top 4 cars moving on into tonight's 50-lapper A-Main.
Well, that driver's going to move into the back of the B-Main. As we'll take a look right now at your Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid. It's going to be another 14-lap prelim race. It is your B-Main. The top 8 going to go through. So half this field going to make their way into the back of tonight's main event. Everybody else from 9th on back going to go home. John Bragman, Jason Shane Backler back there in row number 1. Row 2 going to be Brandon Kerstetter and Jonathan Lowe. Row 3, Wally Reardon and Tyler Grafton. Row 4, Jason Nygaard, Richie Preston. Row 5, John Klimowicz Jr. and Andrew Olson. Row 6 going to be Ryan Smith and Billy Brickley. Row 7, Curtis Merriman and Aaron Schaaf for the C-Main transferees, along with Justin Stolz and Kenneth Payne. In row 8, also your C-Main transferees. Jerry, keep an eye on row 4. Jason Nygaard, Richie Preston, both very good in 360 and 410 winged sprint car competition. They come to the slower division of the 305 sprint cars here on iRacing. We'll see how they handle this one.
We will watch them as they top 4 moving on. Deep in the field, some of those racers, can anybody come out of that C-Main? We'll find out 14 laps from now. Pace truck to the infield. To the starters, can they go? And the green flag is waving. They will thunder on down. John Brockman up there, your race leader. Schoenwalter working the number 2 spot as they hustle down the back straightaway. They will get 3 and 4 wide deeper in the field. Off with turn number 4 to lap number 1. Look at them gaggled, stacked up back there for the number 4, 5, and 6 spots. Grafton right there in the number 5 spot. 1 out. Look at this. 2 lanes of racing. We're going to stack them up 3 wide off of turn number 4 and down the back straightaway for the transfer.
My oh my, it is hot and heavy in the kitchen. Think Gordon Ramsay's making his way, he's making his appearance here at the Limaland Motorsports Park, but Jonathan Lowe, that 20 machine, into position 6 at the moment. He's got a transfer spot behind him, Richie Preston. Then you go back to Billy Brickley. Yellow flag is out. Billy Brickley up to position number 8. He's got a transfer spot at the moment, but we come under the yellow flag conditions. It is heating up right now, Jerry.
Yes, it is. Like we said, that transfer spot is going to be up for grabs, and it's going to be there, and everybody's going to be hard on it right now. That Brandon Kerstetter working the 922 into the 4th and final transfer spot. That'll be the battle we're going to watch on this one. Is like we said, if you're 5th or back, you're watching, you're either watching on the Facebook or you're watching on the screen, sitting in your seat, or, well, you're done for the night. We'll see what happens. Usually it's you're watching from the trailer or the catwalk, but you can't quite do that at your house.
Yeah, no. Well, trailer,
I mean,
unless you probably could.
Unless you're playing on the trailer or you have a catwalk built in your backyard. I have no idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, endless possibilities. We are in COVID-19 lockdown state, so again, Wi-Fi, a wonderful thing. If you want to watch it from wherever you want. Here we go. Green flag back out halfway home. 7 down, 7 to run. Bragman, Shane Backler back there in 2nd spot. Wally Reardon in 3rd. Then you go back and take a look at Tyler Grafton and Brandon Kerstetter. They are side by side down into turn number 3 and 4. Here comes the 20 of Lowe, peeking to the inside, looking for more insurance positions. They go down into 1 and 2. Billy Brickley now up to position 7. That double O machine is coming after the drivers in the top 6.
Grafton right there in the 4th and final transfer spot. Reardon is 3rd. Schoenwalter in the number 2 spot. And Brogman working there the number 1 spot. They'll then down the front straightaway as it is still secured right there. Grafton in the 62 working the number 4 spot, but he has got him stacked up and a gaggle of hound dogs behind him. They'll work it out there. Hang on, we got troubles off of turn number 4. The 20 getting a little crossed up. Jonathan Lowe on out of a transfer now. Bragman still out front, your race leader.
2 to go this time by out of turn number 4. Bragman, Shane Backler, 1 and 2. Reardon back there in 3rd. 4th is still Tyler Grafton. The battle is on between Kerstetter, Preston and Klimowicz Jr. Ryan Smith on the outside looking in the number 94 machine. Slide job by Preston on the 34. That is Klimowicz, and here comes Ryan Smith to the inside. 3 wide off turn number 2 for the final time into turns 3 and 4. Checkered flag is out. Your win is a drag race. Jason Chainback, the home victorious. Second going to go to John Bragman, Wally Reardon, Tyler Grafton, Brandon Kerstetter, Richie Preston, John Klimowicz Jr., Ryan Smith, and unfortunately for Billy Brickley, I thought he was odds-on favourite to get a transfer spot. Jerry, he misses out right now.
Oh, what a heartbreak there, as things were looking to be set up for him, and then just got a little crossed up and That's all it takes here on this lightning quick little racetrack. If you just get out of the line just a skosh with the identical setup, the 305 package, it doesn't take much to get run back about 4 spots.
All right, our second fan pack keyword for tonight, and it's your chance to win a prize pack courtesy of Tim Sims Dirt Track Simulator is action. So the 2 words you need to be typing in the chat is Limaland and action. And again, your chance at picking up a prize pack courtesy of Tim Sims Dirt Track Simulators. Of course, a big thanks to the guys here over at the National Sprintcar Hall of Fame and Museum, Tim Sims Dirt Track Simulators, Wicked Cushion Esports, all those drivers having a hand in helping the Dirty Old Bastards put on these 305 sprint cars every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. And I believe this is, I think, our 4th or 5th round of the series. We've also got a 410 Sprint Car League coming up tomorrow night. Again, same time right here on Ultimate Dirt TV. But Jerry, as we wait for the drivers in the dash, as the redraw is happening right now, so far it's been a fairly quick night where we're at 40 minutes. We've gone through 4 heat races, a C and a B main, and plus qualifying. We've only got 2 races on the program, a 6-lap dash and then a 50-lap main event.
Yeah, it is clicking off. And like we said, this round, race number 4, of course, coming off an impressive green, white, checkered race down at USA last Wednesday night. Of course, coming here to the smallest racetrack on the schedule, Limaland, is going to be, as it's proven to be some great racing. And what's great about this is the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. They've got, looks like looking here at the old Facebook post, they've got some tickets to give away to the 360 Knoxville Nationals, courtesy of our friends Bob Baker and the gang at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. So some other stuff up for grabs here in the series.
We're just going to give out a bit of breaking news.
Hang on. Let's see. So the breaking news I heard today was the state of Iowa is still not on shutdown. Let's see what else. Bernie Sanders jumped out of the election race, and it was Carol Baskin's fault for everything.
Oh, God. No, and no.
So, okay, is the breaking news, is Carol Baskin have anything to do with it?
Absolutely not.
You know who Carol Baskin is, though, don't you?
I would not have a clue.
Oh, I'll clue you in later. Just go to. I can't believe nobody knows who she is. Well, a lot of us do.
All right. So the breaking news. I believe we are the first broadcast company. I have to double check. Other than the likes of Race Spot and LSR TV, who have been around for a number of years, but Ultimate Dirt TV has just hit over 8,000 followers on Facebook. So everybody that has tuned in here tonight or previously or liked and followed us, we thank you so very much for the support here as we get set for the dash, as the car's going to make their way into their correct positions from the redraw. And of course, we won't have a starting grid, but we can certainly tell you drivers who starts where. It looks like you
have to help me on this because I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. Well, look, this is manually run. So Jeremy Isabel and Joe Isabel start in row 1. Chase Swafford and Troy Wagaman Jr. start in row 2. Chris Roberts and Cameron Merriman in row 3. Then you go back to, it is Kyle Stoltz and the 59 of Trey Long in row number 4. The Isabel boys 1 and 2. Green flag is out. 6 laps on the board. We are green in tonight's A main event. And it's going to be Isabel. I believe that'll be Joe out in front. No, in fact, it's Jeremy. Here comes Swafford to the inside, catching a tyre. 1 in, 5 to go.
Cell Racing for starting position. Watch him on down the front straightaway. Look at this, going 4 wide. Oh, Doctor. What a show. Tail tank slap, and we got right side romance. Not too often do you see that in out of a sprint car, but they'll tail slap him on down the front, straight down the back, straight away into turn number 3 and 4. Laps will wind off quick for your starting order in tonight's AMA, and as they race them once again, 3 wide down into turn 1.
3 down, 3 to go. We'll complete lap number 4 this time by. They still continue 3 and 4 wide here at Limaland in tonight's dash. 2 to run. It is your race leader, Jeremy Isabel, out in front, ahead of Cameron Merriman. Up on the outside, Chris Roberts back there in 3rd. Troy Wagaman Jr. slide job. 1 to go, Jerry.
Final time around this quick little quarter-mile bull ring as they will hustle them in. Finishing orders, your starting order for tonight's 50-lapper. They bring them on down to the checkered. Look at the action deep in the field. 2 and 3 wide as they bring them down to the checkers.
Checkered flag is out. Jeremy Isabel, your winner. Now, Chris Roberts has got his hands full because he is going to have a couple of minutes to get this field sorted, get the correct running order down. So what we'll do, Jerry, we'll take a quick break here on Ultimate Dirt TV and come back in just a few moments' time. You're watching the Ultimate Dirt TV's coverage of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum 305 Sprint Car Series, presented by Tim Sims Dirt Track Simulators and Dirty Old Bastards. And again, a reminder, type in Action and Limaland and a chance at a free prize pack, courtesy of Tim Sims Dirt Track Simulators. We'll take a quick break and come back on the other side of this. Welcome back, race fans, to Ultimate Dirt TV's coverage of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum 305 Sprint Car Series. Brett Wheeler joined alongside Jerry Vanskill. Jerry, I believe you've got something very important to tell us right now about this racetrack.
Beautiful day, dynamic skies, 65 beautiful degrees here under a partly cloudy sky. Winds out of the northwest at 8 miles an hour. Relative humidity 49%. 27 inches of heat rising. Perfect conditions for 50 laps.
Surely CNN have got to be hearing this, right? And they need a new weatherman, right?
No, I don't. I remember I have a voice. I don't even know if I have the voice and the face or anything some days.
All right.
Give me some lineups.
All right. So the first 8 drivers in the redraw: Cameron Merriman, Troy Wagaman Jr., Chase Swafford, Chris Roberts, Kyle Stoltz, Jeremy Isabel, Trey Long, and Joe Isabel. Then you go back: Joshua Indick, David Flick, John Klimowicz, Tyler Henselman, Randy Streams, Brandon Igo, Justin Williams, Anthony Marvuglio, Jason Shanebackler, John Bragman, Wally Reardon, Tyler Grafton, Brandon Kerstetter, Richie Preston, John Klimowicz Jr., and Ryan Smith, our 24 starters. Reminder, although the pace track is in, we are not going green. Race control need to make sure that the drivers are in their correct positions. And now the timer is going to be on the screen. However, I can tell you that the white flag will come out at lap number 52. So it is going to be a 50-lap main event. Anytime there is a caution flag to come out onto the speedway, we are going to increase the number of laps by 3. And that is the 3 laps that it takes for the pace truck to come onto the racetrack and to exit the racing surface. Green flag next time by out of turn number 4. Jerry, for our very first here on Ultimate Dirt TV, I'm going to let you lead us to the green flag.
All right, well, it's Merriman and Isabel up on the front row. We look to go 50 laps the distance. Pace vehicle. We'll see them as they bring it off the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 50 laps of fury. Here come the Winged Warriors. The green flag is out, and we're underway here at Lima Land. We'll take them on down into turn number 1 and 2. It will be Isabel and Merriman right to the bottom, right to the top. You're going to see this racetrack change a ton in 50 laps, and it is going to change a ton up there in the top spots. Let's look at this. They're 2 and 3 wide to lap number 1.
Jeremy Isabel going to lead the opening lap. Cameron Merriman back there in second. Troy Waggerman making his intentions clear, getting to the top shelf into turn number 3 and 4. Back there in third, the Catfish, Chris Roberts. In fourth, there's Contact. There's Joe Isabel in the 6th. There's Trey Long going to move up into position number 5. But the battle up for the race lead now. It's Jeremy Isabel down to the low side. No, Waggerman trying to make a slide jump and trying to make it 3 wide. Cameron Merriman to the race lead down into turn number 1 and 2.
Caution on the racetrack, yellow on the racetrack. Caution on the racetrack. What a battle that was from the race lead. As we come to the caution here early in the runnings of this one.
Looks like John Klimwick's, in fact, going to bring that number 69 machine back into pit road. That'll be him done and dusted. So he's... pit crew won't be able to bring him back out onto the racetrack. So that is John Klimwick's jar done and dusted. Justin Williams sitting on the racetrack here in turns number 1. Again, just waiting for all the drivers on the lead lap to get around him. And not this time by out of turn 4 as the lights still flash here on the racing.com pace truck. They will turn off this time by, which means we are set for green flag action this time out of turn number 4. And it looks like the car of... I believe Williams, in fact, had stalled. So he's actually getting a bit of a push start from one of his competitors.
Look at that. That's what's going to work. Teamwork.
Nope,
Man, looks like he'll drop to the infield.
Yeah, I believe Joshua Indick was trying to get that one going as lights stayed on just due to the cars there in turn 1 and 2. Williams and Indick trying to get each other's cars started. Lights out. So... white flag, in fact, is now going to come out at lap number 56, I believe. So, Jerry, we're going to go green flag this time by out of turn number 4. And Cameron Merriman, he's been very quick all season long. We'll see if we can pick up a win here, but there's still a ton of laps to go.
We'll watch him as it's Merriman and Isabel up there waiting for the caution lights to go off. The wheelings do, and we're to the green flag. They'll work them on down into turn number 1 and 2. Like we said, you're going to see a couple lines coming in quick on this one. The top there is right up on the creek. They'll put that big right rear down there. And now the 93 of Chris Roberts is digging to the bottom of the racetrack. Lets it slide up through the slick in the middle section. Brings it on into the number 4 spot. Trying to get around Wagaman there in that number 4 machine. Look at him down on the bottom side as they hustle off a 2 and down the back straightaway.
Wagaman moves into position 3. Now we'll cut it down low down into turn number 1 and 2. Meanwhile, Joe Isabel the 6 around the outside of Chris Robertson. Roberts in the space of a couple of laps goes from 3rd to 5th and could be a little bit worse for wear right now because here comes Trey Long in that 59 machine. 5 out of the top 6 all run the top side through 1 and 2. Roberts the only driver to trying to make it happen in the middle or the bottom side now for turn number 4. Wagaman still holds on to position number 3, but you've got company with Joe Isabel hot on the heels of number 19 machine.
Battle on up there. It is a 3:14 of Merriman, your leader. Wagaman, although you said the battle is for the number 2 spot as they hurry on down and around. Everybody marrying to the top of the racetrack. As they'll hustle on down the back straightaway. Battle on now for the number 4 and 5 spot. Caution coming to the racetrack. The yellow flag is out of the racetrack.
Caution flag number 2, which means our white flag is going to come out at lap number 59. And once we go back to green, we're going to be about 11 laps in, so there's still 39 laps in this race still to go. And you think about what the racetrack is doing, it's very much like what we've seen it in those opening couple of heats, Jerry, where it is very slick from top to bottom. But these guys have got a cushion to lean on. There's still a bit of grip down low. But in these 305 sprint cars, you want to be up on the top side and you want to keep that momentum rolling.
It's all about that, like you said, Brett. The top side right now very dominant, and as things will slick off on the top and it goes away, you'll see that bottom side in the middle section of the racetrack hopefully come on in for those guys back there running a little deeper in the field, and they'll be able to utilize that as that top does slow down and bring that bottom in. Of course, it forces them to go looking. Once you freight train that thing around the top for so long and burn it on up, you've got to get somewhere else and try to find some as they call action traction if you're going to start passing cars. Base truck goes to the infield. We are looking to come to the green flag. Merriman will lead him on down into turn number 1. Merriman up there, your race leader, where he's been for the drop of the green flag. Isabel's got cop on it. Here comes Wagman down to the inside. They'll work down into turn number 3 and 4. It is Isabel on the outside. Battle now for the number 2, or 3, 4, and 5 spots as we thunder down the back straightaway in this one.
Wagman went low in 3 and 4 there on the previous lap, and he realized it was way slower, so he had to jump upstairs, and then that allowed Joe Isabel in the number 6 machine to try and make a run up on the inside as they nearly go side by side. Wagman and Isabel. Now Wagman in an Isabel sandwich, and it's Jeremy in second, Wagman third, Joe Isabel fourth, Roberts continuing to work the middle of the racetrack in that 5th spot right now. But again, the top 4 all run nose to tail up on the top shelf through 1 and 2. We go back and take a look at car into the wall right now. David Flick in the 56. He just got passed by another 56 of Randy Shreves. As Shreves is going to move into position number 9. But here comes Anthony Marvuglia running that 238 machine up on the inside, trying to get by David Flick.
Caution out of the racetrack. Yellow flag out on the speedway.
Believe that might have been John Klimowicz Jr. there. We'll see if we can pull up a quick Wicked Cushion instant replay. Yes, the 34 machine, John Klimowicz Jr. All sorts of crossed up pretty much from the back straightaway. They had contact. And I'm just trying to figure that car out. It might have been Kyle Stoltz in the 01 machine, but man, unfortunately for the 34 machine of John Klimowicz Jr., he gets into the front stretch wall and upside down into turn number 1 and 2. Not a very happy place for the 34 machine, but again, that's going to take out 6 competitors so far. We are still left with 18 cars left on the race, 18 cars left on the racetrack, and we are looking at around 34 or 35 to go when we go back green.
Hey, Brett, I've been watching Chris Roberts back there in that 93 car, and we talked about the bottom of the racetrack. And if I tell you, if he could get somebody else or a handful of other guys to get down there on that bottom of the racetrack, would have been start to clean that lane in, burn that in, and dirty up that top of the racetrack just a little bit. You'd see that top lane slow down and that bottom lane to come in a little quicker than I believe it will be. As Merriman sees the pace truck drop to the infield, and we get ready to go to the green flag. Isabel and Wagaman, look at this. We'll already start to get them 2 and 3 wide, working on down into turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. As they race them on in, battle now in for the number 3 spot. Watch them off at turn number 4. That 4 machine of Wagaman, Isabel, they're in the 6 car. As I said, watch that 93 machine of Roberts. He's right back there. Been there to the bottom of the racetrack as they work him on in as the 6 machine. He's found that traction. Joe Isabel looking to make some moves. It's a hustle into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, when he pulled the slider, realizing he might not have been clear, and rather than cause a wreck, he jammed on the brakes as Wagman puts the slider. He now gets into the wall. Cars trying to avoid him down into turn number 1 and 2. 3 and 4 wide through 1 and 2. We go 3 wide now. You can throw a blanket over the next 6 cars. Wagman through the middle. Joe Isabel up on the outside. Chris Roberts moves up to position number 3, running that low side of the racetrack. How about Chase Swafford? He has come from, I believe, position... Oh, no, he was inside the dash. I thought he might have come from the B-main, but boy, oh boy, these guys are hustling and bustling around Limaland.
Here comes Roberts back to the bottom side, working that number 6 machine of Isabel. Roberts was up into the 3rd spot last lap. Look at this, they'll stair step at 3 wide off of turn number 4 and down the front straight away. It is still Isabel Roberts, Isabel and Wagaman Jr. That's your battle for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on the racetrack. Watch that black machine of Chase Salford. Salford is on the move. He has worked to the top of the racetrack. He is making that thing whistle Dixie around the top. Lays that right rear up there. Is your leader is G-O-N-E gone on this one. They'll go single file, but not for long. Back there for the number 2 spot is Isabel, and Isabel racing for the deuce.
Jeremy and Joe Isabel, they've done this a number of times all throughout the season long. They are proving why these two drivers are certainly contenders for the championship here at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. They continue to go side by side. Jeremy up on the cushion. Joe right down through the middle of the racetrack into turn number 3 and 4. Here Roberts behind him. Now Roberts, he has got company once again by Wagaman. Wagaman to the middle. Swafford, I think that top side might be just starting to fade away. The cushion is right up on the wall, starting to sort of somewhat flatten off as a slide job from Joe on Jeremy. Isabel into turns 3 that time. We go into 1 and 2, and Jeremy going to return the favour. This is going to bring Roberts back into the picture.
We'll watch that battle for second spot. It has been sliders. They've sliced and diced and gone from the tires to the crete. Watch them there. Your leader is gone on this one. Nothing to see up there. This battle for second, third, fourth, and fifth is starting to get good. Is a race on into turn number 3 and 4. It is still your race leader, Merriman, Jeremy Isabel, Joe Isabel, Chris Roberts, and Tony Wagaman. Look at this. Here we go. Still trying to make things happen. The 6 machine of Joe Isabel down to the bottom side. Jeremy Isabel to the top. The top is still dominant enough to where that 6 machine cannot make anything happen. Is it still Roberts as he is still trying to dig on the bottom of the racetrack to look for some action traction?
Well, Jeremy Isabel getting a little loose there, going down into turn number 1 and 2, and now Joe Isabel up on the inside. Joe's going to clear Jeremy down into turn number 3 and 4. The opportunity is now come for the number 6 machine. He slides up in front of Jeremy just as they come into the front straightaway. The yellow flag flies in that long, I think it was about half a track. Cameron Merriman, his lead over the Isabel boys is now going to be basically taken away from him. Cameron Merriman, he was out of it. He was in his own zip code. And talk about trying to keep a social distancing of 1.5 minutes. This guy was trying to put about 1.5 weeks between himself and these guys.
Yeah, he'll take that 1.5 advantage down to about 1.5 inches when we go to the green flag, as he'll be having Joe Isabel, Chris Roberts, Jeremy Isabel right there on the rear, or on the tail tank as he was gone. We saw this Sunday night when we watched some street stock action. The late race caution made for some amazing runs to the checkered. As Mr. Wizard, when's the end of this one over? I know we were pushing up the 59 lap mark and adding laps to it. Where's that put us now?
I believe white flag going to come out at lap number 65, and just looking at the lights on the pace track, they are still off. So I'm actually going to listen into race control because he's going to give his famous speech, and I can guarantee it's going to go like this. All right, guys, drivers, 1 to go. Tighten up, single file. White flag at lap number whatever it might be.
Hey guys, tighten up, single file, white flag, lap 66.
66 is what I've been told just then. So literally word for word. I've done this long enough to know what kind of speech Mr. Chris Roberts gives. 66 is going to be the white flag.
Yeah, or if not, you can make it up. I will believe you because I can't hear it. So here we get ready to go to the green flag. They bring him off at turn number 4. It'll be Cameron Merriman. Merriman, your race leader. He's been there from the drop of the green to go back to the top of the racetrack, and that battle is going to ensue for the number 2 spot. It will be the Isabel boys working 2 and 3, and here comes that 93 machine back on the bottom side of Chris Roberts. He's trying to juice it up and make it happen.
Wagaman still trying to make things happen on the top side, trying to get back into a podium position around the outside of Chris Roberts. Wagaman up to position number 4 right now. Joe Isabel. I'm going to say Cameron Merriman looking a little lackluster here on these last couple of laps after that restart. Maybe certainly out of his groove, and now he's going to have to find his rhythm once again. But again, as he works his way through turn number 1 and 2, the battle is on for third as Jeremy Isabel, Chris Roberts. They will go side by side momentarily. Roberts, the catfish, not off the bottom side all race long. He's stuck that 93 to the inside, and he is making it work. He's digging it deep and selling it cheap.
They'll work him on around. Still out front is Merriman, your race leader. He has got nothing but clean air ahead of him, and he has got nothing to worry about as they work that battle back there for the 2, 3, and 4 spots yet. Laps winding down to this one. Merriman, Joe Isabel, Jeremy Isabel, Chris Roberts, and Wagaman. That's your top 5 as they motor down into turn 1 and 2.
Troy Wagaman around and upside down the 19. Upside down in turn on the back straightaway. There was contact between himself and Trey Long. And unfortunately, both drivers come together. Unfortunately for Troy Wagaman, his race is going to be done and dusted about 14 laps shy of tonight's 50-lap A main event. But man, oh man, a tough break for the driver of the 19J, Troy Wagaman Jr. from the PA. He's off the porch, but I mean, he's inside his own house, so he's technically not off the porch. He's still a porch sitter.
Exactly. So as we take a look at this, the 75 of Chase making his way up through the field on this one. I believe he started back there. Let's take a look here. Trying to find it. Still trying to get all reiterated with this. How this all's timing and scoring works. So bear with me as I get ready to put my thoughts together.
He was in the dash. He was in the dash.
Yes,
so
in the dash.
I think he started
but he
third.
fell back. He did fall back though. Fell back there a little ways and has raced his way back up through the field. Merriman, though, still your race leader. 10 laps to go. Green flag out of the racetrack. Merriman will lead him on down into turn number 1 and 2. They'll hurry him on through as they hustle down the back straightaway. Merriman still your race leader in that 3:14. Wagaman running second. Swafford into the number 3 spot. Everybody keeping her up there on the top side, letting it eat and making it. That battle now back there for the 3 and 4 spot. Roberts in the 93. He has been persistently married to the bottom, trying to make that work all race long.
Yeah, he does not want to give that one up without a fight, as Merriman is starting to feel some sort of pressure right now from the 6 machine of Joe Isabel. But Jeremy, he's got his own sort of company right now with Chris Roberts and Chase Swafford, and Randy Shrees in the 56 machine as well, making his way to position 6. Brandon Igo up to position number 7. Richie Preston 8th, Kyle Stoltz 9th. And David Flick going to round out the top 10, but they go is now Chris Roberts now going to move into position 3. Jeremy Isabel makes a mistake in 1 and 2, but here comes Isabel back to the outside, back on Roberts. They race side by side down into 1 and 2, and Roberts has got position number 3.
Roberts finally moving that machine on up and making something happen. Brings to the number 3 spot, still down there tugging the tires. It is still there to the top of the racetrack, though, as they race him on down. Chase Salford, Roberts on the black machine up on the top side. He'll lose some ground. Is it still Merriman way out front, running and hiding on this one? That 37 machine right there, Jeremy Isabel working with the 93 machine of Chris Roberts as they thunder down the back straightaway. 2 to go this time is Merriman still out front, showing the field his own merry ways as he has led this thing from the drop of the green flag. They'll work on down. White flag cometh this time. You see it, final lap. Cameron Merriman leading the field off of turn number 2. And he picks up the win in this one. What a show. What a race.
Cameron Merriman. They give us a dud call. They told us that the white flag was coming out at white flag 69. But we can tell you Cameron Merriman, Joe Isabel, and Chris Roberts will be the top 3 drivers here in tonight's main event. And Jerry, boy, oh boy, what a 50 lap that was from start to finish. There was 2-3-1 action. There was action all over this racetrack.
That thing was quick tonight. That was a good little show. Hope everybody had a good time. First First time I'm doing sprint cars in a little tight bullring like this. It's fun. I enjoyed this. It's a good old time. Hope everybody else did that was watching.
All right, so we're going to hopefully chat to our top three here in just a few moments' time. Cameron Merriman, Chris Roberts, and also Joe Isabel. And in fact, to tell you what, we're going to go trackside right now. We're going to chat to the driver that comes home in third place tonight. And we sort of joked about, he sort of joked about off air that the only time that he ever is able to get a podium in these is in these 305 sprint cars. And well, he does that tonight. Chris Roberts, Chris, congratulations on this third place run. Well, there's a reason why they call you the Catfish. Did not even attempt to get up on that top side of the racetrack. You stayed down low for the entire 50 laps and you just sneak home in a third place.
Oh, wrong button. Yeah, that was a heck of a race, man. That's the furthest time I made it was the middle of 3 and 4 was really the highest I was gonna go. Ripped the bottom great, and like I joked around before the race, might have to bring Jerry back more often.
Well, I can be up for this. I was gonna, and I kept talking about you there, Chris. I wondered if the bottom was gonna come in. When Brett called you the Catfish, I knew you were gonna go to the bottom pretty quick in this deal tonight. Was there anything there that you thought you could maybe get a hold of, or was it just too dirtied up down there?
Oh, there's for me, there's usually always something down there I can find. Very, very rarely will I find it not to work. But getting into the corners, there wasn't much on the bottom. So if you were watching that battle with me and Jeremy there for the end, for third, getting into the corner, I was having to pitch it in real hard. And then basically that second to last tire, I was having to get the left front to just touch it or bounce over it so I could get the drive off the corner, because down along the tires coming out of the corner, there was still enough there to get a good drive off.
So there was no chance of a slider is what you're telling me?
Me and a sprint car running up top, no, it ain't going to happen.
Well, great run there tonight, but it was fun watching you down there on the bottom. You had just watching the car control and how you could just pitch and, like you said, turn that and find that little bit of grip to get that forward drive off the bottom, and then just knowing to dance that left front. I see a lot of that in modified racing. Where the guys will hit that tire to lay that thing over on the right rear, and it was a textbook out there tonight.
Thank you.
Well, Chris, before we let you go, of course, sponsor shout-outs to all that good stuff, buddy, who makes it happen for you, who helps you behind the scenes to make all this possible here on a Wednesday and, of course, Thursday night.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while since I get to, thank everybody on air, thank the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame coming on board this season for the 305s, great deal. Enjoying it. We've been putting on some great racing for them. They even threw in 4 tickets to all 3 nights of the 360 Nationals at Knoxville for the 305 champion this season. So, it'll be a good hard-fought championship battle all season. Tim Sims for helping bring the Sprint Car Hall of Fame in, and everything that he does for us. The race winner tonight's getting a T-shirt. He gave out 2 fan packs tonight, So I got to thank everything that he does for us. Wicked Cushion Esports, Wicked Energy Gum, all of them, and Matt there, that's none of this would really be possible without them. They've been a long time supporter, I think going on 2.5 years, something like that now, so, got to thank for all the support they do. Wheeler, the job you do up here in the booth, Jerry, thanks for coming out and hanging out with us. I know this virus deal's got everything all screwed up, but hopefully, we can provide some great racing for everybody and you enjoyed yourself, and just everybody who continually comes out and supports us, either racing or the fans out there watching, all the racers. Since we did the restructuring, season and a half, 2 seasons ago, the racing's just been fantastic. Gets better and better every week. I mean, that's, the numbers are increasing again and the quality of racing staying. So that's the big thing, So I got to thank, all the drivers for, showing up and racing, using their heads, giving each other some room. And it's been putting on some great racing and everybody's enjoying it.
All right, there we go. Chris Roberts there, home in third place. Cherry, do you want to chat to our driver in second spot tonight, Mr. Joe Isabel?
Well, we got it. Is he live? Joe, I tell you what, great run on that runner-up spot. You guys just you could get to the tail tank of the caution, but Merriman was able to pull away. But you guys had a whale of a show back there for about all 50 laps. So you guys back from second on back put the show on tonight.
Yeah, I had a really good car. Me and my brother Jeremy there. He builds the sets, and he had a really good car. I think he got into the wall and got a little damaged, so I was able to get around him. But yeah, Merriman, man, he was flirting with danger up there. I do not like the cushion like he likes it, and I'd catch him in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 he was just killing me every lap, and I'm like, man, I don't know how he does it. I was watching him just run the cushion lap after lap, and I'm just like, I was praying that he'd hit the wall so I could capitalize, but he never did.
No, he was pretty consistent in his marks, and that's what we talk about. I watch a lot of racing outdoors and get to announce a lot of racing outdoors, and just getting kind of, I've watched some of this, but getting to be get my feet wet with doing this, it's amazing. Like I was talking earlier, to watch how you guys, even though you're sitting in a cockpit, or you're sitting in with a wheel in that. There is a lot of finessing, even though you don't have the feel of what the race car is doing on a racetrack. There's a lot of feel to make sure you still get those points and marks, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, iRacing is, I mean, it's awesome. I love it. I race in real life, and this is my, like, I race all day, when there's racing, when there isn't the virus, when we're racing, and then I get home and all I can think about is getting on this game. So it's not the same, but it's so close. It's hard to explain.
So a little bit about that, because I see racers' names on here. Like the other night, I was on for a street stock race, and I think about half the guys from the Midwest are in on that show. So where's home at for you? Tell us a little bit about what your racing operation that you've got, that you do when we get to go back outside and race.
I started off with mod lights way back in the day, and they're like they're a Northeast. They look like Northeast modifieds, big blocks, and they're smaller, and they run 1,000cc engines in them. And I raced those for a long time. Then I raced World of Outlaw World of Outlaw late models in 2008 and 2009. Chased the series, had a lot of fun in that. I was young, I was only 16. That was a lot of fun. And then I got into big blocks up here, sport spins, and then once I took over and was no longer racing for my father, I went back to the mod lights, because that's what we always did. And our local track, Brewerton Speedway and Fulton Speedway. And the virus is kind of killing it right now. We're supposed to be racing right now, but hopefully we'll get back to racing, I hope, soon.
Yeah, we all kind of wonder, and we've like I've told everybody in this, you can none of us know it's an unforeseen thing that we look at each and every day, but it's going to happen. We know this will pass, and we'll all get to go back outside. But what's amazing is, like you talk about the mod light. You explained it. We race those at Marshalltown and Boone here in Iowa weekly, so real familiar with those cars. But then what a career, racing an Outlaw late model, and going to racing the mud buses, and then coming back to in essence your roots. And we talk about it out here a lot, that somebody says, well, why did you do this? Why did you do that? And like I tell people, and like just talking with folks yourself, you do what you do, you enjoy it. And if that's a class you enjoy and it keeps you going, that's what you're going to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, the mod lights are just, anybody that's driven one, they know. I mean, they're just so much fun. They're a handful and they're a blast. I mean, we don't get the sprint cars and stuff in our area, or else that would be something to try. But the mod lights are a lot of fun. But I mean, the one good thing about the virus, I mean, there's not much good, but the good thing about it is it's really making for good iRacing. I can tell you that. There's a lot of people on.
Well, I mean, when it goes from all winter, everybody's like, on Facebook watching. Yeah, has anybody got one of these? Anybody got one of these? And then we don't go racing outside, and everybody's like, I need one. And like tonight, watching some iRacing, on Fox Sports 1, it was, the Outlaws were just literally 40 minutes from me at Knoxville. At the right there racing the late models and the sprint cars, and it's listening and talking to some people. This whole iRacing deal. I was reading a good friend of mine that races modified, said that he told his friend, hey, why don't you come over, just watch this thing. And he said within 45 minutes of watching his first iRace experience, he called him, how do I get this deal? Where do I go? What's it cost me? He's got it. He's racing a league, and he's already asking his buddy who races a modified on the dirt, now tell me, how do I get one of those things that you have? And the guy had never been to a race. Never. And all started by buying an iRacing kit. And now he's looking at buying a modified to race outside. So it's amazing what it's doing for our sport right now.
Oh yeah, no, I highly recommend iRacing to anybody that maybe has that racing, that needs that racing fix, but yet can't quite afford it or doesn't really want to spend time away from the family and go dirt racing. That they can do this, and it's so close. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's so close. And it's my I mean, my arms are shaking right now just from that race. The adrenaline. I got arm pump. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, congratulations on that runner-up spot, and I'll be back. This is a fun time. This little National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum 305 series that you guys have got watching it tonight. You got a good core of group racers, and it's fun to watch. And I hope to be a part of it again.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, there we go. Joe Isabel, home in second spot, but the man of the hour. We're about to talk to him right now from Victory Lane. It's Cameron Merriman. Cameron, well, congratulations on this victory. An absolutely dominating victory in the 314 machine. You lead from pretty much start to finish in the 305 Sprint Car Series, and well, you get the job done here tonight. You must be thrilled about this result.
I gotta say, I had a lot of fun. I saw a lot of hubbub online about it, so I figured I'd come in here with my pops and give the boys a run for their money again. You know, I had a lot of fun last season trying to run my way into the 360s, and then kind of took the first half of this 305 season off. You know, give myself some more time to hang out, do some more chill things. But 50 laps at Lime Lane, who's going to turn that down?
After the first caution, once we got that long green flag running, I think it was about 20 to 30 laps. You had probably about half a track lead. What goes through your mind? That's such, that big of a lead. Do you continue just to continue to absolutely rail the cushion and try and pound the wall down, or do you generally become a bit more considered because not only were you trying to stay out in front, you were trying not to wreck your car, but also you throw in some lap cars as well? What goes through your mind during that stage, in the midway part of this race?
I mean, to be honest, this isn't an official race. I'm not here to lose money or gain money. So at the end of the day, I got my dad whispering in my ear, tell me, take it easy, take care. And I'm like, man, screw that. So, if I'm out here, I'm going to try and learn something. So I'm going to try and pound the wall down if I think that's the fastest way to get around each time. And then, you're getting mired in lap traffic. So it starts to become a lot of fun, racing. So it's a little unfortunate we caught that caution there because we never really got back into lap traffic. But it's easy just to tune out the mirror and just try and lay down consistent laps. I think there's a lot of fun to be had in the iRacing service, just trying to do this whole min-max game. You're watching your splits, trying to see if you can get tick down faster laps and faster laps even as the track gets worse. That's what makes a lot of fun.
Let's talk about that. When you got in that lap traffic like you did, and you said you can, you zero in, and as we talked about, you had such a big lead that when you got through that stuff, you had such a huge insurance policy bought up. That did you know? Of course, you knew you had that big of a lead, but did you change your style when you got into that lap traffic and you had to come off the top?
I personally didn't, although what's interesting about the 305s and this track in particular, kind of the whole menagerie, the whole combination of it, is that when I came to the back of the field, the guys in the back of the field weren't actually significantly slower than I was. It took me 20-something laps to catch up to them, so you're not really talking about that big of a delta. So to answer the first question, no, I'm not changing my line to come off the top. But given that the guys in the back aren't remarkably slower than you, you're going to have to change your line if you want to get by them. Because you can't just plant your car behind the guy and wait for him to pull over. That's not what this is about. So you do start thinking about interesting ways. Can you throw a slider? The 305s don't carry a ton of momentum or lose a ton of momentum in general. So you got to be kind of tricky in how you get by people. I think you see that in the dash. You just kind of throw it and hope it sticks and hope it clears the guy behind you. But I definitely wasn't trying to change my line deliberately just to buy back some of that insurance policy as you described. But you definitely are trying to look for lines that can retain the same split times and find a way by the people in front of you without getting into the back of them.
Now explain to me, because this is all new to me. When you talk about split times, because this is some of the things that maybe somebody who's just tuning in to watch just what racing is, talk about what you mean when you're watching your split times. What is that?
Sure. So I raced micro sprints and 305 and 358 sprints in real life, and I got to say I never had the luxury of this type of information that you have in the sim. And some people might disparage it as being incredibly unrealistic, and others might praise it for permitting the driver to have all the information they want at their fingertips. And so in terms of the ladder, you have the opportunity on your screen, on your display, on your heads-up display in the game, in the sim, to display, for a given, you can choose the metric that you want to use. And what I use is baseline how I'm doing on a given lap versus the best lap that I turned in that session, meaning the quickest lap that I turned in that feature race. Let me see what my split, namely, am I slower, am I faster at any point on the circuit in the lap relative to that fastest lap. And so what you're trying to do in terms of this min-maxing is adjust your line, adjust your throttle inputs, approach all of these things to try and be better than the quickest lap you set in that session. And when you're, as you describe, a mile ahead of the rest of the pack, you're not so worried about buying down that insurance policy. You're trying to enrich yourself and become a better driver by really racing. It's maybe a little cocky to say, but racing against yourself. I'm measuring that split each lap and using that information to try and become better.
Now, when you go, so say like if you were to, not because there's so many divisions you can race in this, can you take what you learn out of this 305 race tonight and watching your splits and watching that and move that into like a 360 or a 410 or move it into a late model or a modified? Can you take that information and use it in something different, or is it just kind of like outside, everything has its own little glitch?
With regards to the former, namely about taking it to a 360 or a 410, it has to be measured because, in essence, the cars do handle the same. Making adjustments has the same effect on the cars, but it's all in varying degrees. And with the 305s that are really low on power, they're much more about a momentum game. In the 410s, you can throw them down to the corner, get on the brakes, get it twisted around and pick up the throttle and get back going because they carry so much torque, and you can get back to speed really quickly. Whereas these 305s, if you get them off the power band, you're sitting there bogging around. So with that said, understanding the differences, there are concepts that you can take away when you learn things, but in general, I'm not going to say, I moved my right rear end half an inch on this track state. That worked really well. I'm going to take that and do that in the 410 here when I come around in the official series or whatever it might be. But in general, I can say, if I ran a 305 race here before with a given setup and then came here again, which we did, so we came here last season on the 305s, right? And I changed my, say, right rear spacing or bump stiffnesses or whatever it is, I can take those relative differences and carry those into the other sprint car series. With regards to the latter portion of the question, I personally am not going to be able to do jack all with anything regarding modifieds or late models. I suck at driving those things and I can't do it. So maybe someone else can, but I cannot.
Well, I tell you what, and like I said, the reason I asked some of those questions is I'm new to this. I have no idea. And I know, like we said, with people watching it, some people they think that all you're doing is just sitting and, we see pictures, we watch videos of guys sitting in their, sitting there driving, in their setups, and you wonder, okay, what all happens here? And it's neat to hear this. And, off you guys, off the top three that dominated this thing tonight. And I just thank you for the information and putting on a great show. It was awesome.
For sure. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, I mean, comparing it with the real thing, you get that seat of the pants feel, which is really interesting. It gives you a lot of insight into how the car is handling. In iRacing, a lot of the things are the same, but that seat of the pants feel is gone. But the thing that you gain in the simulation is that you can turn hundreds and hundreds of laps and never have to pay for fuel or tires or track time, right? So there's a lot to be gained from that. And so you end up finding a lot of guys in the sim and gals who invest a large portion of their free time and really devote themselves to it. And so the talent and competition that you find here is often incredible.
And I've seen it so far, and congratulate you. Got anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors? Any? I said you had Dad in your ear telling you lean back a little bit. You're okay. Who you want to thank for the big trip to Victory Lane here tonight?
Yeah, sure. My dad and I often are doing this thing. We raced when I was a teenager back in the 2000s, doing the micro sprints and the 305s, 358s. But we're at a different point in our lives, so the sim is a way to have fun and sometimes take it serious. It's varying degrees. So sure, thank my pops, thank my wife for being supportive, and the whole COVID situation, we're all cooped up in the house. So I got to thank my two pups for being lovely and keeping me company in the quarantine.
So where's home at for you?
So we're out right just outside of Dayton, Ohio.
Midwestern guy.
That's right. I grew up, raised Eastern Shore, Maryland. Spent a lot of time, went to college, University of Maryland. So I'm Maryland born, Maryland bred, raised, but currently spend some time out in Ohio, and it's not too bad out here.
Well, you just keep cooped up, and we'll get you back on this for race number 5 coming up next week, and it'll be fun. Congratulations on
Right
Monday
on.
night.
Thank you for the interview, and take care.
All right, there we go. Cameron Merriman in victory lane tonight. Absolutely dominating display by him, Jerry. He was just in his own little world out there on the racetrack. He was never going to be beaten since the drop of the green flag.
No, and you just listening to talking those 3 guys and getting a little information. I mean, it is crazy how you and I talked off mic Friday or Monday night when we did this, how realistic this is, and whether you're watching, just sitting and watching what we did tonight, or listening to our top 3 and how they can technically just watch what's happening and know what's going on. It makes it no different than making those notes at the racetrack on any Friday or Saturday night when we're outdoors racing. And that's it's cool. This is neat. I didn't ever think I'd get excited about sitting at my kitchen table, watching things in the background, watching the racing on the computer and calling it, and being like I said Monday, the old hair on the back of my neck standing up, because this is exciting.
Well, it certainly is. And, well, Jerry, thank you very much for spending part of your Wednesday night with us here on Ultimate Dirt TV. As always, it's a much pleasure. And that's 2 shows we've done in about 3 days, actually, with 2 different broadcast companies. Of course, we'll hopefully get you back on the airways here on Ultimate Dirt TV sooner rather than later. All right, of course, I want to thank, of course, the guys over at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, Tim Sims, Dirt Track Simulators, and, of course, Dirty Old Bastards for their support here on the 305 Sprint Car Series. I want to thank our own sponsors here at Ultimate Dirt TV. A big thanks to Wicked Cushion, Wicked Energy Gum, World of Thunder Racing League, DirtFan.com, and iRaceWraps. Check them out on all their social media pages. Give them a like and a follow. We thank all you race fans for tuning in here tonight. It's been an absolute honour to call the races with Jerry Vansickle. And Jerry, until next time, buddy, we'll talk to you again shortly.
All right, everybody, be good. God bless, and good night, everybody.